Hello and thank you for joining the live stream. I'm glad to have you here. We're live on Alpha Makeup and YouTube at the same time. So shout out to my students who have enrolled or joined us on alphamakeup.com and to our subscribers on YouTube. And I'd say without further ado, let's get started. So in case you don't know me, I am Haja. I'm Haja, your instructor, and I'm 31 years old, licensed cosmetician and makeup artist based in Germany. Like many makeup artists these days, I started my journey as a self-taught makeup artist in 2011. Then in 2014, I decided to turn my hobby into a career. So I went to a cosmetology academy for 3 years until 2017. And later in early 2020, I started my self-employment as a makeup instructor because I found my passion to teach and help other students. So I created the online course Makeup Artistry Basics to Masterclass with the goal to help my students understand the theory and practice of applying makeup on different types of skin color, and facial features. And that is when my online course got titled as a bestseller on the popular online learning platform Udemy in late 2020. So today I have over 9,000 students worldwide. So in case you want to be part of the journey as well, just visit the course link on my website, alphamakeup.com. And yeah, later in late 2021, I started this YouTube channel, Hajar Beauty, and I post every week free educational content. So if you want to follow me on here for knowledgeable videos about beauty, then I would appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Yeah. Later, in 2022, last year basically, I founded my own beauty brand, Alpha Makeup Academy. It's a retail store as well as a platform where you can enroll in makeup courses and just get some knowledge about beauty and makeup in general. So if you're curious, you can visit our website every time and get your updates there as well. So before we get started, I want to let you know that I will share the Google Slides presentation as a PDF under the description box of this streamed video. So you have it as a reference if you want to have a look on it and review it. The goal of this live class is to answer your questions and clear any doubts you have. So I would be glad if you ask your questions during the class. And furthermore, I would like you to note that you can rewatch this class later on my channel as well. In case you want to learn by doing, get your makeup stuff ready so you can follow me along. Thank you. So, talking about the class curriculum, we will first talk about the intro to smoky eyes, why smoky eyes are so timeless to wear. Then we're going to determine the eye shape on a first in theory and then on a model. Then we're going to choose and explain the needed products. And then we're going also to talk about the tools and brushes you will need. And finally, after that, we will show the live demonstration of the smoky eye on a model. And then after the class, we will do a Q&A, so you get my questions to your answers real in depth. And last but not least, we have the outro. Excuse my English, I'm not a native English speaker, so I'm trying my best, so excuse my little mistakes in between. So we're going to do a feedback and talk about your Masterclass certification for those of you who have enrolled through my website and my mail list. So back to the first questions, or the intro to smoky eyes. Why are smoky eyes so timeless to wear? Smoky eyes became quite popular in the early history of makeup, like in the 1920s to 1930s. The reason simply was women were inspired by the Hollywood actors on the screen whose makeup looked black and white because of the black and white movies back then. So if they would wear green, blue, or purple eyeshadow on their lid, it would basically look black because of the black and movie on the screen. And that is why when women wanted to recreate the looks, they always chose the black shade. So since then and until today, the smoky eyes remain timeless because they're suitable for almost any eye shape, for any occasion and outfit most of the time. So until today, grunge smokes, for example, in 2023 is making its comeback. So as you can see, until today, until 2023, smoky eyes remain timeless. And as you can follow, the specific eye makeup look will never get old, since it will be, as I said, one of the best looks in every woman's makeup wardrobe. So, that was our model, sorry. First of all, we're going to talk about determining the eye shape. Here, sorry if I go back and forth with the slides. So, before we start, we go through the following questions. It is important to ask yourself, whether you do it on yourself or on a client, to ask yourself these 3 questions when it comes to the eye shape, because they play a role when you want to go for a smoky eye. So first of all, are the eyes big or small? Are the eyes wide set or closed set? Are the eyes hooded and droopy or droopy? Because these questions help us to gain more insight in understanding which style and color of smoky eye would look good on the eyes. By the way, don't forget to type in your questions if you have some. I will take a look at them later on, and then we will discuss them. So the next question would be, are we dealing on big or small eyes, with big or small eyes? So on big eyes, you can work with any color. If the eyes are too big, darker colors will actually balance out the size, so it has an ideal size, so to say. And you can also work on the lower lash line with darker shades, because it will still look good, because you have big eyes, and then you can frame them. That is no problem at all. It will look good when you go full black on them. Now on small eyes, on the other end, you preferably should work with lighter colors. The intensity of the shades should be subtle. Maybe you should go for 2 shades lighter, like a brown or a gray, instead of smoky black. And you should also skip working with dark shades on the lower lash line, because it will make the eyes look closed and much smaller than they are. Now, if you deal with wide set or closed set eyes, you have to take in consideration that on wide set eyes, smoky eyes will bring the eyes together. It will basically pull them together, so it will make them look better. In other words, it will close the too wide gap between both eyes, like the photo we have. Like the photo we have here on the right. And talking about close set eyes, the eyes might end up looking too close to each other. And important here is to work with less intense dark shades. That is why my suggestion would be to apply a pop-up highlighter around the tear duct instead of working with the too dark shades too close around the tear duct. I'll explain that better later on when we apply it on the model. The ideal distance between our both eyes, in case you don't know this, is a third illusional eye the same size of our own eye. So basically you have to imagine an illusional third eye, the same size of your own eye in the middle, and if you have that size, then you have the ideal size. Then you don't deal with closed set or wide set eyes. So next we have the popular hooded eye shape. So in case you don't know, hooded eyes are eye shapes with excessive skin sitting on top of the lid. They can occur genetically or with aging. So some people have them in a very young age because it's genetically, or some people will get them while they age because the skin in general, because of the gravity, will start sagging around the whole face area. So including your cheeks, your eye skin will start to sag as well, and it will start to cover your lid, the lid that is available when you open your eyes. I will show that later better on my model. So why smoky eyes is the perfect eye makeup look for hooded eyes is because it camouflages the extra skin on top of the lid. It makes basically the skin that is hanging on the lid fade away or camouflage it. So it's basically a perfect alternative as well to eyeliner on hooded eyes, because many people who hooded eyes people who wear eyeliner struggle with a crooked eyeliner look. Basically, when they open their eyes, the eyeliner just doesn't look as straight as it would look like on their closed eyes. That is why it is a frustrating matter. So in case you struggle with that, you are sure that you have hooded eyes. It's sure that you have hooded eyes. That is why this is a point where you can determine it that way as well. And another good thing about smoky eyes on hooded eyes is it will open up the tired eye look by vanishing the skin above the lid. So black shade, when talking about black shade, because not every eye shape and not everyone here can pull off a black eye makeup look or smoky eye look. That is why black smoky eye matches it the pro about black smoky eyes is that it matches with every eye color. Basically, it looks good on every eye color: brown, blue, green, hazel, whatever. However, it doesn't look appealing on brides because of their white dress. The contrast is just too strong, you know. When you have a face with full black eyes, deep black eyes, and a white dress, it just doesn't suit well the dress, because the motive of a bride wearing white is that she wants to look innocent and pure, and the black smoky eye will make that not happen. That's basically why I wouldn't recommend brides to wear black eye makeup on their eyes unless they really want to. It's their choice. So another point is small eyes will appear smaller, as we have mentioned previously. Closed-set eyes will be pulled off too close to each other, as we described previously as well. Now onto the other shades. Other shades here. So brown, like lighter brown, will look good on brides, and every other color, eye color and shape. Brown is basically a go-to eye makeup look, I'd say, because it really looks good on almost everyone instead of black. But you know, applying a black smoky eye would maybe not be as easy as applying a brown one, and we'll talk about that later as well. So yeah, Bordeaux and purple will look great on green or hazel eyes, and green and blue will look good on brown and hazel eyes, and gray looks great on blue eyes. That is basically my recommendation. I think it has to do a lot with color theory. So if you don't know about color theory, it's very important in makeup artistry. I've also discussed this topic very in depth in my courses. So Next, we're going to talk about the tools and their importance. I have a code. Wait a minute, I'll show you that once here. I have a code under the title, Tools and Their Importance, which says give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe by Abraham Lincoln, So, in our case, this code means if you want to have fast, flawless, and professional results in makeup artistry, you have to have the right tools and products, plus a good amount of training. And with that being said, let's take a close look what we would need for the perfect smoky eye makeup look. So the tools needed are basically a beauty blender, a dampen one, because if you want to apply your cream products, it's the best way to dab it with a dampen beauty blender. Then we will need a powder brush. A powder brush is great for setting your eyelid after you've applied your concealer and your primer, for example. Then we will need a blending brush, which is basically, I'll show you this. I think I'll use this slide. This is basically a fluffy blending brush, which is ideal for blending any hard edges away. This one is by Alpha Makeup, my own brand, which belongs to the 12 pieces brush set. So, and then we will need a smudger brush. I will show you that as well. Wait, I will show you each brush and their purpose so you're prepared. So we have smudger brush the next, which is basically a dense, flat brush like this one. It's great for smudging, as the name it says. And then we will have an applicator brush. Applicator brushes are basically also dense brushes, flat brushes that are great for applying your pigments on the lid without any fallouts. And then we have on the list a detailing brush. A detailing brush like this one is also a flat rounded one. With this one you can detail out your makeup application. Basically, if you make any mistakes or if you want to apply cream products, it's the perfect brush. So so the next few tools, you would need them in case you're applying makeup on someone else, like in case you're doing it professionally and applying it on a client. Then, for example, I would suggest you to go for an eyeshadow shield or a powder puff in case you've already applied the base makeup and you don't want to deal with fallouts. You can use eyeshadow shields or a powder puff. So next we have mascara wand brushes. If you're working again on clients and you want to do it hygienically, sanitary, whatever, so you don't use your own mascara wand, instead you use another wand. So then we have cleansing brush spray in case you're having like 2 or 3 clients in a row. For example, you could use your cleansing spray to clean the brushes in between. Especially if you work with darker shades, you need to have them clean after each client or each usage. And last but not least, we have a mixing plate and a spatula. Again, if you work with clients, you can scrape off the product, the powder, for example, on the mixing plate and use it on the client. That way you prevent cross-contamination. Excuse, the word is too hard for me. Yes, that is basically if you double dip with the brush or any tool you use into the product, and it will basically spread the bacteria from the previous client on the product, and then yeah, that's a vicious cycle. and is really dangerous if you're working on strangers, because you can spread bacteria and virus with it and cause inflammation. So next we're going to talk about the products needed. So for the technique I'm using, first of all we need an eye primer, of course, because it will help us, it will help make the makeup more long lasting. And then we will need a concealer to neutralize the the discoloration on the eyelid. But you can also use, in case your clients have like veins on their lids or any stronger discolorations like black circles around the eyes, you can use a color correcting cream as well. You should do it actually before you use concealer. And then next we have a setting powder. Setting powder, great to set the cream fluids you have applied previously on the lid. Then we have a creamy gel eyeliner. Well, the reason simply is why I'm going for gel eyeliner. You could basically go for any color you want. You could go for a brown if you want a brown smoky eye, black for black, and what on the other, so on and so on. So basically I'm using black today. And then we will need a creamy kohl liner to tight line the waterline, for example. And then we will need a well-pigmented eyeshadow shades, a good palette from a good brand. I will be using a Tartelette palette in Bloom. I'll show you the palette later on. And then we will need a mascara and false lashes, which are optional again. So next, guys, will be the coffee break. In other words, you could have a break, and we will be back to you guys in like 5 minutes. So stay tuned. Thank you. We will do next, by the way, the application on the model. So see you soon. So I have written down the steps so that you can follow along better, reading, watching, and hearing or listening. So first of all, we need to determine the eye shape. So looking at my model's eyes, she has, please look straight forward into the camera. She has beautiful almond eyes that look also upturned. As you can see there, they look very beautifully lifted as well. But she has slightly hooded eyes here on the end. And how you can determine this is basically applying, for example, an eyeliner, a winged eyeliner, and looking at her eyes while they're open. So when they're open, the eyeliner will start to look, the wing will start to look crooked. And that is how basically it's one point where you can determine whether someone or you yourself are dealing with a hooded eye shape. And another way you can determine it is basically also looking just straight with your bare eyes without any makeup on into the mirror, and just see how much of the skin is basically covering the lid of your eye, which is this part, the lid under the crease fold. The crease fold is, let me show you. So the crease fold is basically this fold here. Open your eyes, please. And when she opens her eyes, you can basically see the crease fold. The crease fold is slightly sagging on the lid. And that is basically a sign that she also has hooded eyes. You have to take in consideration that you're not going to have only one eye shape. You're not going to have only hooded eyes. You basically have most of the time a combination of different eye shapes. So as I said, she not only has almond-shaped eyes. Almond-shaped eyes are basically a little smaller eyes that basically have the shape of an almond. But she has also upturned eyes. Upturned eyes are basically eyes that also look a little lifted. So she has basically very nice, in the beauty world, it's basically an ideal shape of an eye. But she still has another characteristic on her eyes, which is the hood that is sitting on the top of the lid and covering her lid a little here on the outside. It's more here on the outside. And that is basically what we want to camouflage, for example, this part of the skin. And in her case, it's not genetically. Basically, she didn't inherit this from her ancestors, for example, but it's more occurring within aging. So we are dealing with basically mature eyes that are hooded because of aging. So that was how we would determine the eye shape on our model. Next, we're going to prepare the eyelid by applying a primer first and concealer to set the lid. So I'm using for today's primer the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Original. I'm going to apply a little of it on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to close your eyes, please. And then I'm going to apply it on the lid by dabbing it with my fingers. You can use your ring finger because it's gives the eyes less pressure. Since the eye skin is a sensitive part, you should better work with the ring fingers on it. So what the primer does is basically prevent the eyeshadow creasing into the small folds that are on the lids. So when you plan to wear your smoky eye, for example, for a long time, for a few hours, and you're doing it for an occasion, you shouldn't really skip this step as it's important. It will help the eyeshadow to look more pigmented and deep and also crease less into the folds, eye folds. So next, I have mentioned beforehand, guys, that you could use a color correct cream or a palette to color correct any discoloration on the lid. So I don't know whether you can see it, but she has small veins here around on the brow bone. Please close your eyes. Thank you. You could basically color correct it and the darkness around the eyes, for example, with this peachy shade. I'll do that. And another tip, guys, if you're working on mature eyes or hooded eyes and you want to apply cream products, you can stretch the skin with the other hand while applying the cream product into the folds as well, so it's applied evenly. So next we're going to neutralize or use our concealer by Sephora Best Skin Ever in the shade 20. Gives you nice coverage. Just remember not to go too heavy on the products. It should be a small amount. Okay, I'm going to apply it. Ooh, close your eyes. Going to apply it with my fingers again. But since I cannot apply the concealer perfectly into the tight nooks around the tear duct, I'm going to use, you can either use a brush or just go into it with a small beauty blender. So I'm going to use my damp beauty blender. Please note that applying makeup while recording is really differently than doing it off camera. So I need to do a retouch every now and then because of the fact that I'm multitasking somehow. So. Okay, I think that's enough. So next I'm going to set it. You have to do it real quick when applying cream products. You really have to set it quite fast because that will prevent the cream products from slowly setting into the crease folds. I'm using the Laura Mercier transparent translucent powder, and I'm using our powder small size powder brush by Alpha Makeup. Can also, if you have applied a little bit too much product, you can also dust it off a little by tapping it off the lid or on the back of your hand. Okay, that's it basically. So next we're going to start, let's see what the steps are. So next we're going to choose the desired shade we want to go for, or you would want to go for. So basically I'd say as we're dealing with basically an ideal eye shape and we're having hooded eyes, you could basically go dark. I'm going to go for a black, a little brownish with a tint of brown smoky eye. And yeah, for that I am going to use, the next step is going to be using our creamy product. It can be a kohl liner or a gel eyeliner. I'm going to use a gel eyeliner because I think it is really deep in color and has nice pigments and will give me a nice even look. I feel like you could do that with a creamy kohl liner, but I feel like you have to put a lot more effort when working with a kohl liner. That is why I would recommend using a gel eyeliner. I am using the one by Kiko Milano called Lasting Gel Eyeliner in black. So for the next step, as I said, I'm going to use a detailing brush because it's the perfect brush for applying cream products evenly. So I'm going to apply a little of product. You really have to build it up. You have to start doing it step by step. So I'm going to apply it on the lash line. Basically like you would apply a thick eyeliner on your lash line. That is how you would do it. So it has to be really close to your lashes. That way you prevent any small gaps. Okay, so now we have basically, please open your eyes. Thank you. We see whether we have covered the whole lash line. I see that I have not covered the inner corner. Please close. can do that. So now we would like smudge what we have applied on the lower lash line. Smudge by dabbing. Also, the number one reason why I would suggest you to work with a creamy product first is to prevent any fallouts, because we all know it, when you work with dark colors, you are going to deal with heavy fallouts on the lower lid here. And you might look like a panda bear afterwards, and that is not our goal. That is why I would really recommend you, if you want to go for smoky eyes, like really heavy, deep smoky eyes that look flawless and seamless without any patches, then you need to start your base with a creamy product. As you can see, I'm not adding a lot of product. This is basically my base. I'm just going dabbing upwards, slowly getting closer to the crease fold. It really needs patience. So, as you can see, as we get closer to the crease fold, it is not as intense as it is on the lower lash line, on the upper lash line. So. So, open your eyes. Okay, so as you can see, we basically have reached the crease fold. That's where you stop with the black shade, basically. Because if you would go further, it could be a little bit risky, because as I said, you should build it up. If you go like real heavy right away, it might look messed up. It's really a technique for its own, that you should do it one by one and step by step and layer it all up and not straight, because you will end up looking like a panda bear or like you have been punched in the face. So that's not what we want. So I'm going to apply another layer, a thin layer here. I really want the closer we are to the upper lash line, that we have a nice black contrast that is getting lighter as we're getting closer to the crease fold. As I said, in this step you can stretch the skin. It will really help you to get into the fine lines of the eyelid. So, and you have to really check whether it looks similar to the other eye. Yes, up until now it's okay. So, and we're going for the round, doughy-eyed smoky eye look, not for the cat eye smoky eye look, because this one is the classical smoky eye, which basically also looks really nice on most of the eye shapes and is really easier to achieve than a black cat smoky eye look. Cat smoky eye look would basically have a V shape here on this part, but as you can see, we're going for a round shape. We're not focusing a lot on the outer edge of the eye, which is this part of the eye. So, I'd say that's good enough for now. I'm seeing here we have a little bit lighter. So, for the next step, we're going to smudge it. I did it. I think I did it. I did, yes. and apply a black eyeshadow on top and smudge further. So basically, I'm going to show you the palette I'm using. So it's by, as I said previously, it's from Tarte, the Tartelette and Bloom palette, and gosh, do I love this palette. I use it a lot up until today. I really love it, and I think it has the perfect shades for basically any eye color. It has perfect neutral brown and also a little warm, tends to look warmer on this side shades, and I think it's the perfect also smoky eye palette, brown, black smoky eye palette. So I'm going to use, as you can see, we have these 4 shades we could use. And I'm going to use, I've said brown, right? I'm going for a darker brown shade. No, gosh, I'm going for the Smoke Show shade. I think it will match the gel eyeliner better. Why we're doing it is basically we want to set the cream product we have applied previously with the eyeshadow shade. And I'm using our applicator brush by Alpha Makeup. It picks up the pigments perfectly, so you will not deal with fallouts. So what I'm going to do is basically set what I have applied with the gel eyeliner. As you can see, just go in dabbing motion. Don't swipe, because I think it's the best way to for the pigments to stick to the lid without causing heavy fallouts. So as you can see, the powder did even out the look or the application further, which is a great thing. We still have hard edges, which we're going to deal with next. So our next step is, I think I've covered it. Wait a minute. So yeah, our next step would be apply a brown shade on top up to the crease fold. Sorry guys, I just noticed that we would have apply a black eyeshadow. I said brown, but I definitely have applied the black shade, which is the shade Smoke Show from the palette. And yeah, now we would like apply a brown shade on top. I think brown and black mixed together look really nice. That is why I'm going for a brown shade next. All I want for this smoky eye is to make to look a little to give you a little ombre effect, make it have a little nice contrast from light to dark. That is why our next shade is basically going to be Activist. Yeah, Activist. This dark chocolate brownie shade. So just 1 layer, not more, or 2 in case you need. But yeah, we don't apply a lot of layers of eyeshadow. Again, dab the product into the skin. Don't swipe left to right. So yeah. Here, as you can see, it doesn't change the color a lot, but slightly you have a slight very black brownish look, which I really like. So that's it. So as we said, up to the crease fold, which is in her case up to here. So next, we're going to take a fluffy blending brush and blend the hard edges away. What I've noticed, guys, I've made a small mistake in the description here, because I would actually I will explain you here in a second. Apply a lighter brown shade here on the crease fold and slightly above it. And I'm going to do that by using the smudger brush by Alpha Makeup. This is this mini dense, flat dense brush. And I'm going to use, for the lighter shade, I'm going to use the shade Rebel. So here's our crease fold. We're going to go with this shade on top. And we're going slightly above it as well. Just dab it, starting from the center or wherever you want, from the outer edge to the inner corner. So, I think it does look okay. Please open your eyes. Thank you. You can see whether you would need a little bit more brown product. When the eyes are open, you can basically see whether you should go a little more above the crease fold or not. In our case, I can say, can you please open your eyes and look straight forward to the camera? Thank you. I can say yes. Here, for example, you could have applied a little more brownish shade, because with this brown shade, basically, we will camouflage the hood here on top of the eyes. And that is why she would basically help us, or you would help yourself if you open your eyes and apply the lighter shade here on top of the crease fold, a little above the crease fold. It's basically called the above crease fold, this part of the eye. Okay, so next we're going to use finally the fluffy blending brush. As you guys can see, when you talk about smoky eyes, everyone thinks all you need is a perfect blending brush, but that's not the case. Because of the fact we're working with darker shades, it's really important to work with brushes that are like more flat and dense to apply the product, to prevent the fallouts, and smudge in really slow and regular motions instead of swiping and quick fast motions, because that will mess up the look and really might give you a smoky eye that you don't want to wear. So yeah, that is basically also something that beginners tend to do. They think it's important to dip their perfect blending brush into the powder and start right away with applying the dark shade, and that is their way of getting a perfect smoky eye, but that is not the case. You should really, as you could see, first step is to really build it up, like by applying layers of products. First with a texture that is creamy as your base, and then top it off with a powder textured product that has the same color as your gel eyeliner, for example, or your creamy kohl eyeliner, and then go lighter by starting with one shade, lighter shade than your black shade, and then also another one lighter shade, and so on and so forth. That is basically the trick into creating the perfect smoky eye, layering up and not going too fast right away with the darkest shade, and using the blending brush. As you can see in our technique, we use the blending brush as the last step without any product. just to blend the edges. As you can see, we have edges here, and that is how we would blend them. While you're blending, you can go in circular motion here on the other edge of the eye, and here a bit like swiping motions. Sweeping motions, sorry. So, open your eyes, please. Do you see the hard edges are basically faded, but we're still not done yet? Because, as I said, you need to work step by step and layer the products and see whether you need a little more or a little less. Hopefully not, but a little more, because less would mean you have to correct and remove, and that's not what we want. So, as you can see, I'm now comparing both eyes together, and I can obviously see that we need a little bit more product on this eye, and that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to apply a little more of Smoke Show. That was the black eyeshadow from previously. It's going to... You have to be really cautious. That's it. Smoke Show was basically this black brownish shade which we applied first on top of the gel eyeliner. You can see I just came to the conclusion that we need to go up further with the shade. That's okay. Maybe even up further. It's also a little complicated for me as I'm not seeing both eyes at the same time unless I look up to the camera footage, and that is why I might need a little longer than you would need, but yeah, basically it's okay that we're doing this because we're layering up and we don't have to worry about removing things, because that will be frustrating right now. That is not what we want. So I've applied the black, and I would like to go, I think it's now getting a little more similar to the other eye. I would like to go for the lighter brown shade I went in previously and go on top again. By the way, it's also the next step of this, it's the next step of our application. Do a touch up on the contrast. So as I said, the closer you're to the lash line, it should be darker. The closer you get up to the crease fold, it should get lighter. Yeah, basically. And that's what we're doing. What you can do also, what's also will make your job easier when blending the hard edges, is using a tapered blending brush. Can use that. Doesn't it? Does it focus? It's not focusing. Wait a second. So here, tapered blending brushes are basically blending brushes with pointed bristles here on top, which will work really nice when you want to work when you want to blend a product precisely. Like I want to blend only this part, so I'm not messing up with the other parts here and down below. I'm just slightly softly touching the skin and swiping the brush. By the way, I don't have any product on this brush, because all we want is, we have already applied our pigments, all we want is to fade the hard edges and soften them more out and to have a diffused look. I think we're getting closer to that. So. Have a look. Yes, I think I need a little more brown here. As I said, it's totally okay as long as you don't need to remove anything. And again, we use the taper blending brush and so I think the light here, the shadow, do you see? When I cover the backlight here, you can see they do actually look the same now. So actually we've achieved the look now on the similar look now on the left eye. Oh, that's the power of light. But I would actually prefer it if you turn it on, because I can see better, but the thing is, my viewers might get a little confused about whether both eyes look the same or not. Okay, but as you can see, they do look similar, but I prefer to apply a little more brown. I think the other eye is like turning more warmer. So I'm going to apply a little more brown here. Again, we have reached the above crease fold on the top of the above crease fold. Close your eyes. Maybe I should do a touch up here as well, so they do look great, or symmetrical, or even. See, so. Okay. Just trying to compare them and see whether they do look similar. I hope so. Yeah, but I like the contrast up until now. I think it really looks nice. What we didn't do on this eye, obviously, is working on the lower lash line. It's the next thing we're going to do. Okay, I think I didn't mention it on the slideshow, but I will send you the corrected version of the steps. So yeah, next step says apply mascara and falsies, but we're going to work on the lower lash line. So as I said, some eyes, please open your eyes. Some eyes, like smaller eyes, like let's say monolid Asian eyes, they will tend to look really smaller if you frame the eyes with a dark black shade. That is why I wouldn't recommend that when you do that, but on her eyes, as you can see on the left eye, it looks perfectly fine. It really looks like she can pull it off, and that is why I think we can frame the eyes with darker shades, and that is basically what we're going to do next. So as I said, I wanted also to mention, if you're working on closed set eyes, which is really important to note down, to not maybe go too dark on this part. Maybe start like applying a pop of highlighter. Oh, yeah, a pop of highlighter here around the tear duct, because that will open up the eyes and give her a nice shine and create a space between the two, small distance between the eyes. So yeah, we're going to do that as our next step, applying the makeup on the lower lash line. What I'm going to do is use a regular creamy kohl liner. I'm using this one by L'Oreal Super Liner. Going into her waterline, I'm going to tightline it. You can close your eyes. So when she closes her eyes, I can at the same time tightline her upper waterline. On some eyes, I would really recommend that, especially on very light people, because the waterline, the upper waterline will create a distance or a gap between the eyes. So if you close it with while applying kohl liner on top of the upper waterline, you will really create a nice thick lash line without any gaps. So please open. As you can see, we have also applied the upper, and I can see here I could use a little bit here more. Thank you. So, okay. Next, I would smudge it, but her kohl liner didn't transfer a lot on the lid. On some eyes it would, or if you would do it yourself, you would probably press to touch your skin a little more harder than I would do. I do it really soft on some other eyes because I don't want to hurt anyone. That's why I wouldn't do that. But if you don't have any kohl liner transferred here down for you to smudge it, you can go ahead and use an eyeshadow on top of the lower lash line. I'm going to use the Smoke Show shade to match the makeup on her lid, and I'm going to apply it here. You can see she has little tears on the outer edge because of the kohl liner. Going to correct that. So yeah, going to try to not apply it too thick. I'm going really close to her lash line so that it doesn't turn out too thick. And if it does, it's okay, you can correct it. It's obviously easier than correcting any mistakes on the upper lid. So, as you can see, we have also connected a little bit with the upper makeup here on this side, which creates a nice, complete smoky eye look. Let me see whether we have similar here as well. Yes. So next, I'll just have a look and see whether the line is too thick or not. Let me see, please. Make sure it's a continuously thick line. Or you could also, if you don't want it to have it here as thick as here, you could gradually thicken it. Basically start very thin and get thicker the more you get closer to the outer edge of the eye. It would maybe look perfect when you wear cat smoky eye look, which is basically, as I said, the smoky eye look that has a V shape. Yes, I think it looks better if we have a little bit removed here. So, as you can see, I didn't apply concealer here on the part of her eyes, and I did it for a reason. I didn't apply her concealer on the eyes because I wanted to clean the mess under her eyes. It's not that messy, as I said, because we work with this technique, and but still we will anyway deal with a little of fallouts, and that's okay. We're going to remove it using a cotton pad and our micellar water. So do it very gently and cautiously. As I said, you could work with eyeshadow shields if you have your base makeup already on, but I really would recommend you to apply your, if you are going for heavy eye makeups like this, to first apply your eye makeup and then go for your base makeup, just because it will look much cleaner at the end. The reason I didn't do this is because of the timing. I really wanted to not bore you guys, because in this lesson it's all about smoky eyes, and I didn't want to switch topics, make it real quick. That is why I didn't do it. I also didn't use eyeshadow shields because yeah, my model cannot stand the glue because it will give her skin a reaction. But you could also go for powder puffs. That's an option, to just basically have the powder puff here and work. But the best way, as I said, is just first to apply the eye makeup and then go for the smoky eye. So I'm going to color correct the under eye area first by using this shade here, which looks dark, but it isn't. I think it's the perfect shade to create a nice neutralize the darkness under her eyes. Could go for the peachy shade as well, but it will make her eyes lighter, and because she deals with a little bit of eye bags, it will, if you work with a lighter shade on eye bags, it will make them pop out even more, and that is why I would prefer to stay close to her own skin tone. That's why working with this kind of brown nudish shade works well on her skin. So next we're going to use a concealer. Going for for the best skin ever by Sephora. I'm going to apply it with a brush. So I'm focusing here to get into the tight nukes here. It's really important to work with thin layers, especially on mature skin, because you deal with lines, and it's really easy for the cream products to get into the fine lines real fast if you do apply it heavy. So. Can always build it up if you think it's less, but I think it's okay right now. Just going to dab this into the skin. This shade will oxidize, so don't wonder if it looks lighter right now. Okay. So as I said previously, it's really important to hurry when applying cream products on the skin, and set it right away with your powder brush. You can see it's much cleaner applying your base after you have applied your eye makeup. Okay, so we're not done yet completely, but we're almost there. So my model has already lash extensions on. That's why I wouldn't wear or apply any falsies right now, because it would look too heavy. But I would, in general, recommend you these kind of pair of lashes, like the 3/4 length lashes, because I think it gives you the nice natural eyelash look instead of the full pair of lashes, because most of the time you need to trim them anyway, so why not go for the 3/4 length version. Yeah, and it also gives you a little bit nice of cat eye-ish look, or a lifted eye look. That's why I would go for this version of lashes. And maybe also not go too heavy on the lashes, because your eye makeup is already dark and heavy and you don't need the dramatic eyelashes that would only cover your masterpiece. So yeah, let me do that. I'll just apply one coat of mascara. Oh, she has a bit of dust here. Can I remove it? So yeah, I will basically do one coat just to make sure that because when we work with powders, the lashes start to look washed out, and that is how you can basically correct it. I think which eye is this? Is it this eye? Yes, I think it has a bit of cream on the tip of the lashes, and I can. To give it a last look. So for the last step, guys, I would always take a last look at the eyes and on my model and see whether there are any patches or any gaps I could fill, or any hard edges I could fade. And yeah, I'm doing it with the fluffy round brush here on this side, just to make sure it all looks perfectly faded. There is no product on this brush. And here on the inner corner, I would go for the tapered blending brush and blend it for less time. It really makes a difference. So let me see the other eye. Okay. So I would also take a look at the waterline and see whether they're still black enough, or if there are any patches. I think here she has a little bit. Open your eyes, please. And I think here you could fill it up a little more, like so. Yeah. So if we cover the light again to see whether it's. I'm a perfectionist, so I just need to make it look real flawless to be satisfied. But guys, another one important tip is you don't need to mess with smoky eyes. If you do more apply like black, or if you do more apply product, you might mess it up real quick. So that's a really important notice, that you shouldn't apply a lot of product or go back and forth with it. But the last step should be really just blending without any product on and not with product on, because it might really end up looking messed up. So I think we're done. Let me see what we have next. I think we're done. Yeah, that's basically our result. I think it really looks nice on her eyes, and she's pulling it off. Thank you. And yeah, so what we're going to do, that was the last step, basically. Clean up under the eyes and conceal. So that's what we did. So guys, we're going to the next slide, which is the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, I could answer them here on YouTube. You can see that we have some questions from the students on the Alpha Makeup platform. So one student, Maria, hello, hello Maria. She has asked, what if the bride wants smoky eyes in black? Okay, so I think I've mentioned it, but if the bride wants smoky eyes in black, and I recommended you not to apply black. I would talk to her because it's her big day, and you should talk about this matter in your bridal consultation, and really explain to her why you would, as a makeup artist, not recommend her a black smoky eye, and just because of the reasons I've mentioned you, because the contrast doesn't match well. But still, if she really wants it, it's her decision. And on her bridal consultation you're going to have before the wedding day, you're going anyway to find it out. You're going to apply the smoky eye, and if she's okay with it, why not? It's all about personal preferences, and makeup is all about art and fun. And yeah, just like fashion, we all have our different styles. Yeah, then we have another question by Susan. Hey Susan, do I have to know all eye shapes? What if I cannot tell the eye shape? Okay, that's a good question. So this topic, the topic eye shapes, really comes with experience. There is no golden rule, and you cannot learn beforehand. That is why you really have to experience working on different eye shapes, working on different clients with different eye shapes, so that you can get a feeling with what kind of eye shape you're dealing. But in general, as I said, we like any other shapes on our face, like our face shape, for example, or nose shape, we don't deal always with one specific eye shape. Sometimes there is like 2 or 3 combined with each other, and that is why you really have to work on these eye shapes to get a feeling for what kind of eye shape you're working with. But important is to know, if when applying smoky eye, is to know whether you're working with big or small eyes, because as I've explained, if you're working with big eyes, then you can go wild on the black shade and frame the eye in any color you want. Now, if you work with small eyes, you have to be really cautious. And yeah, the other things were wide set and closed set eyes. Closed set eyes, as I've explained, you can have this slide as a reference and go back to the notes I have taken. But basically, the 3 questions we've talked about, this is what you need to take in consideration when applying a black smoky eye. So, what do we have? Okay, we have Elliot asking, can I use the other mentioned shades also on other eye colors, like blue eyeshadow on blue eyes, etc.? You can do that, of course. It's again personal preference and what kind of style you're going for. If it's editorial makeup, you can really be creative and choose any colors you want. Yeah, do your fun experiments on the eye color and shape. But when it's for a certain occasion, like when it's for a wedding or a party, then you really need to think. You need to take the colors into consideration, because it makes a difference. Blue on blue wouldn't enhance the nice blue eye colors. That is why we would suggest brown shades, for example, lighter brown shades, or grays would look nice on blue. It will really make the blue eyes pop out. That's what I would recommend you to do. And then, we have Saskia on Alpha Makeup asking, can I get the brushes? Where can I get the brushes? I will talk about that later on, but I can say it now as well. So you basically can, you have access to the brush sets on our website, alphamakeup.com. You just need to go onto the menu on the right side, and you will be led to the products. Another question: Can you mention the products so we can purchase? Well, I think if you have missed out the scenes where I've shown for any reason, if you didn't have any internet or connection or lagging or something like that, I can, of course, I think you mean mention the products in the description box, right? So you can purchase. Of course, I can do that. I can do that. Later on, I will do it on the video in the description box. Then we have another question by Sarah. How do we prevent products from transferring to the skin? That's a good question. So when applying smoky eyes in general, it happens that your product will transfer down to the skin, but of course you can prevent it by using a primer. It's the first step. By using layering up the products like we did with using a cream product and on top set it with powder product. That's basically the trick, to make it really set and don't fall under the eyes. And when working on the lower lash line, maybe you have to ask your client or yourself, if it's about you, whether you deal with it on a regular basis or on a daily basis, that their products transfer. And I would, for example, suggest you to work only with waterproof kohl or creamy liners to prevent that from happening. But in general, it really can happen. You cannot prevent it always, but what you can do is, for example, if you really deal with this problem, just leave it out. Just don't put any black shades on the lower lash line. That would be my recommendation. Next. Can I use eyeliner on top of other shades of smoky eyes? I think you mean eyeshadow shades like green and so on. Of course, you could do that. Maybe a thin one, as thick as your false lashes you're going for, or if you don't have a very thick lash line naturally, you could apply eyeliner on your smoky eye. No problem with that. Just like I did, you can start with black and then smudge it and then top it off with the other shades you're working, like green, purple, hazel, purple, Bordeaux, whatever. And yeah, I think that's it for the question. I think I will keep it short. I see I have some questions down there, but I really want to keep it a little shorter for this video because it's going to go online on YouTube later. What I'm going to do is answer your questions in depth later on in the comment section of the website. So I would like also to ask for your feedback because it's basically this class was a one-time opportunity for many of my students and viewers. I basically offer this service on my website, online coaching, makeup coaching, and that's why this basically was a one-time opportunity. And I would maybe if you have enjoyed it a lot, of course, plan another live in the future. Just let me know your feedback and what you've thought about this day, this class, and what you think we can do to improve the quality. So, thank you for joining the masterclass. We will send the free digital certificate of participation in the next 72 hours to the students who have enrolled on our website. And in case you guys want a hard copy certificate of the digital version, then we offer it on our website, alphamakeup.com, with an additional 25% discount. And on YouTube, and for the people out there on YouTube, you could also give me your full name under the comment section, and I could give you, and also an email address, please, so I can send you the certificate as well. So, next, technical issue. So next I want to, as a part of showing my gratitude for joining our first launched group masterclass, I would like to give you a 30% discount on our deluxe 12 pieces brush set by Alpha Makeup. You will have the link down below in the description box. And the best is yet to come. You have a 50% discount on a one-to-one or makeup live group coaching session with me. We would like basically learn a day to evening makeup self-application, or if you're doing makeup professionally, we could learn a day to evening or a bridal makeup on a model, for example. Just book your makeup live classes in advance with me on my website, alphamakeup.com. And yeah, we're basically reaching the end. I would like to thank you for joining the masterclass, and I would appreciate it if you would follow us on our social media. We have the credits here on the left side. Yeah, I would be really grateful for that, and I hope you have had a nice Sunday with us, and wish you all the best for your career as a makeup artist or as a beginner. Thank you very much.